of a stinker.
Right.
So he had the stinker against Indiana, and so his consistency, it scares me.
Right.
Okay, so now we get to the Shanahans at number 3. If, in fact, Zach Wilson is going 2, and they're going to overlook Justin Fields at 3, which we think...
All indication.
Even Michael Lombardi, who worked for Belichick and is an NFL insider, he says, no way are they taking Justin Fields at 3.
Right.
While all the reports have Belichick hotter and hotter to rise up and figure a way to land Justin Fields.
Right. Right.
Even Kuiper has him trading with my Cowboys at 10 to take Justin Fields 10th. My Cowboys moved back 15th to take J.C. Horn, the other cornerback, other than Patrick Surtain.
Right.
Okay, so now we get to the Shanahan.
Has your Cowboys ever made a trade?
Ever made a trade?
Move back?
Yes. Dozens.
I think they move up. They moved up to get him.
But they move everywhere. Jerry's like the trade master. I don't know where he gets him, but he loves to make trades. But the point is, the Shanahans, if it's true it's now down to Mac Jones or Trey Lance, I ask this question once again. How could you trade that much of a package of draft picks, your next 2 years' #1 picks, to go up without a clear-cut 3? Like, if you traded to 2, I told you from the start, you got me.
Right.
Because then it's pretty clear-cut to me that Urban Meyer is going to take Trevor Lawrence. So then you'd have the quote-unquote pick of the rest of the litter, right? Well, now you don't, because you got one wild card, crazy team that you never can predict, the Jets, the MESS, mess.
Right.
Well, who's to say they wouldn't throw you the biggest curveball and take Mac Jones? I don't know what they're going to do, because I think it's not carved in or engraved in stone.
I believe they're taking Zach Wilson, Skip. And people are like, well, why would you trade all that to move up to take Mac Jones? They look at Mac Jones, they see Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was the 3rd pick, if I'm not mistaken, in the 2008 draft to Atlanta, because I think Jake Long was the #1 overall pick that year. Chris Long was second to the Rams. And they said, okay, this is Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan got 55,000 yards. It's not like Matt Ryan has been an MVP, taking a team to a Super Bowl. He's gone to several pro. So it's not like Matt Ryan has been terrible.
No.
And if he has a career comparable to Matt Jones, to Matt Ryan, Skip, he'd have a hell of a career.
I'd say. He's not as talented as Matt Ryan.
You don't believe so?
I do not believe it. I don't think he's quite as big, and I don't think his arm is as strong.
I think his arm might be as Skip. I don't think Matt Ryan has a strong arm.
No, he can throw deep balls like crazy.
Oh, did you see him throw a Waddle and Tua? I mean, not Tua, Judy and Devontae?
Okay, I got it. So another guy I respect is Bob Stern for The Athletic, who analyzes the Cowboys and the NFL draft. And he's got a lower grade on Mac Jones. He says on talent, he's not a first-round pick. He's more of a 2 or a 2nd or 3rd round pick. I buy that. Just if I look at him in a vacuum, just what he brings to the table athletically, arm strength, all the above, yeah, he looks more like a 2nd, 3rd rounder to me. But if you're saying he's just got that Brady-esque thing going, then you got me. And apparently that's what they're thinking. But here's what it comes down to me. What happened in 2012 to these Shanahans in Washington? What happened? Well, Mike decided Kirk Cousins was his cup of tea. He wanted Kirk Cousins. And he finally got him a Kirk Cousins in the 4th round. He waited to the 102nd overall pick to get Kirk Cousins. And I think from the start, he wanted to go Cousins over RG3. The owner fell in love with RG3, the Heisman winner from Baylor, as you know. He had lit up my Oklahoma Sooners on a Saturday night. It was a show that he put on. And they were stuck with RG3, and they traded the sun, the moon, and Mars, and Jupiter, and it was unbelievable. They gave up 2 future firsts and a 2nd rounder to go all the way up to 2, but they only went from 6 to 2. Only did you go from 6 to 2 to take Robert Griffin III, 1 pick after Andrew Luck went #1 overall to Indy, okay? And now the dilemma for the Shanahans. We're stuck with this guy, and yet we kind of love that guy. And which one would be better for us? Well, I think they thought that Kirk Cousins would be better in their system. But they also tailored their system for Robert. And what happened? Great things happened. He won Offensive Rookie of the Year and turned their team around into a division winner. And they were on their way to winning a home playoff game against Seattle when the worst happened. Basically, the sky fell on Robert, and he was never the same.
Skip, and you remember, Robert got hurt against the Ravens.
He did.
Cousins come in against Cleveland and look fantastic, threw for 300 yards. Grip said, oh, no, I'm coming back. He was supposed to miss more time. He rushed it back.
I agree.
So what they're saying, Skip, is that in this offense, the offense that we want to run, Matt Ryan went to a Super Bowl. Matt Ryan won an MVP. We believe this guy's equally as talented.
Okay, but here's the dilemma. If we look back to 2012, they know what they did with Robert. Well, is Robert Trey Lance? I'm not sure Robert's quite as good. I'm not sure Robert's ceiling was quite as high as Trey Lance.
You don't?
I've told you, I have fallen head over heels for Trey Lance, but I have such a small body of work. I have 2019, and I didn't watch a single game start to finish on TV. I'm watching YouTube highlights. I'm looking at numbers that just scream big time. 28 touchdowns to 0 interceptions.
Skip, you saw Grips. That campaign, that junior campaign he had. It was sensational.
I watched probably every game.
You watched what he did to Oklahoma.
I watch?
He was sensational.
I watched with one eye closed.
I think the thing is, we'll never know what could have been. But I don't know if Trey Lance has the upside as Grip had.
Robert Griffin, 6'2", 213, ran 4.33 because he had Olympic speed.
Yeah, he was a hurdler.
Okay. Trey Lance, 6'4", an inch taller, 2 inches taller, 224, maybe 10, 15-ish pounds more. He didn't run for his pro day, but they say he's a 4.5-ish, which is plenty fast enough for that size, okay? Because if you watch the YouTube highlights, he is running over dudes in the second, just crushing. He is trash compacting DBs. So my point is that his ability to hit full speed is pretty extraordinary, and he can flat out run it with instincts. And Robert could not figure out how to get down. He just couldn't figure it out.
So instinct, what does your gut tell you? Who they taking at 3? Mac Jones or Trey Lance?
I think they're having a battle over it right now.
I do too.
And I think that father is saying Mac Jones, and son is saying, Dad, I don't know. I think we could really go places with Trey Lance. It may take a while, which is why they're hanging on to Jimmy G. It may take a year. It might take 2 years to get him ready to go. But I think son is saying we might have a much higher Super Bowl-ish upside.
What Kyle has seen, Skip, he's like, yes, I can work miracles with average quarterbacks. I got to the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo, but at some point in time in the course of a meaningful game, your quarterback's going to have to make throws. And Jimmy couldn't make any throws in that fourth quarter, Skip, and it cost him. And he says, I need guys that can make throws in the rest. Skip, up until the fourth quarter, Jimmy G was playing great. Jimmy G was going to be the Super Bowl MVP.
And then what happened?
It collapsed from up under him. And so what Kyle is saying, look at what I've done with Nick Mullins. Look at what I've done with C.J. Beathard. Look what I've done with some of these other guys. But at the end of the day, the margin of winning in this league is so thin. And a lot of times it comes down to who, Skip? One of those guys.
For sure. Okay. What if you find that Mac Jones, if you can't surround him with Alabama talent, starts to look more average? Is that possible? That's what I think could happen.
Yeah. But I think the thing is, Skip, is that Kyle Shanahan's system, with Deebo Samuels and Ayuk, I just think Kittle will be back. The question is, Skip, for me, is can the running back stay healthy? You talk about they were down to their third quarterback. Hell, they were down to their fifth or sixth running back. Running backs can't seem to stay healthy in that system because you know they can run the ball, and when they run the ball, that sets up play action. And nobody can play action any better than what Kyle Shanahan can script.
What if you throw in RPO action with Trey Lance as well as play action off the run game?
Well,
what if Trey Lance becomes part and parcel of the run game?
Well, Skip, he needs to be accurate. That's what they look, I know, like I said, I know Mike, been knowing him for 30 years. You got to be accurate in that system. That's what you need